Welcome everyone. Today we have a beginner's guide for Dota Underlord. As you have known, the game just came into season 1 and lots of us, beta players have been played since the game started with beta. And I know how good the game is. I want to share with you guys lots of secret tips for beginners, intermediate players, maybe even for advanced players. Let's get right into the game. So at the start of the game, you have 8 players, and as an auto battle game, you basically be competing with the players by summoning units, and when your units survive, they will actually do damage to the enemy. You start with 100 HP, and whoever survives to the end as a battle royale kind of game, you'll be victorious. And how the game interacts is every unit of the same kind, when you have 3 of them, they get upgraded. As you can see here, I'm looking at a 1-star Ranger. When I get 3 of her in a normal game, she'll be upgraded into a 2-star. If it's a special mode like Knockout or maybe in a PvE mode, only 2 of the same kind unit will be upgraded. So 2 of the same kind will be upgraded into 2-star. When you actually play normal mode, which is the majority of the the game, with PvP and also ranking, there's also ranking with Knockout. So we're in the normal mode, which will be focused on that. The normal mode requires you to have 3 of the same kind into a 2-star. After that, 3 of the 2-star will go into a 3-star, and the units are capped there. Units will have double damage, more health each time you upgrade them into a star, and also the skills will go up, as you can see, 10%, 20%, 30%. There's lots of alliance and things we can touch up on, but today we're going to touch on the basics with economy, positioning, and a few more. At the start of the game, you're giving 5 gold, and you can see the cost of units, 1 gold and usually 2 gold. This is how you start the rounds off. You can have 3 units down on the bench. Those units can be on the bench, it can be on the field. You can position at most 3 units at the start. After a few rounds, you can start spending gold by leveling up or by spending to get a new row of units. Of course, it's nice to have units of the same kind, which after you can find units of, a majority that goes into 2-star and 3-star. What you want to be aware of is that you actually get gold every round that you progress into the next round, and depending on your win, if you lose, you also get bonus gold in a few multiple factors. The first gold is the round gold. I believe after 4 or 5 rounds, you'll be getting 7 flat gold for just passing each round and surviving. After that, depending if your performance within the round of the fight, if you won the fight, you instantly get 1 gold for that victory round. So that's the second source of gold. First source is the 7 gold. Second source, if you win, you get 1 extra gold. If you don't win, you won't get that gold. The third source of income is from interest. Interest is calculated for unspent gold at the start of the round. When the round starts, when the battle begins, you'll be looking at 0, maybe 10, maybe 20, maybe 30. Interest is capped at 30. So for every 10 unspent gold before the round starts, you look at 1 extra gold on the next round. For every 20 gold is 2 gold, every 30 gold is 3 gold. So you can earn a maximum of 3 gold if you have 30 unspent gold. This is how people manage economy with Underlord, and this really helps for the early game because you don't lose much of your current health and the units are not very strong, and you're looking at a very good advantage if you save up early. And this is going to reward you late game because you have more money to spend for better units, you have more things to use for. There is last way of earning gold. So we spoke about 3 ways. There is one last major way, and there's also a small way to earn gold. The last major way to earn gold is with streaks. If you win against other players 3 times in a row, for the next round, if you win again, you'll be earning 1 extra gold for a win streak, and this continues to 2 gold and 3 gold, and this goes up to 4 gold. Once you win up to 8 wins in a row, your win streak will be completed, you get the 4 gold, and you won't have a streak anymore. This is to not get players to get snowballing with too much gold because they keep winning and they get stronger. Oh, the doggies are not happy. Let me close the window. And there's also a losing streak because it's a win streak. If you lose 3 consecutive times against any other player, so win streak is win against any other player consecutive times, losing streak is to lose 3 times. You can see I have record of 0-0. If you lose 3 times in a row, you get a losing streak. After that, each time you continue to lose, you will earn 1 gold. If you lose 6 rounds in a row, you will get 2 gold extra for losing streak. This is to support players who hasn't been getting the best units to come back. There's also a factor with losing. Each time you lose, you will get a free roll for the current round. This doesn't carry forward, and you should be able to use them whenever you can because this is basically a free roll that's worth 2 gold of value. it costs 2 gold to roll a set of 5 different units, and depending on your level, you get different rates. Here we'll be looking at rates of tier 1 and tier 2 only. Later when we level up, by earning XP every round, or by spending gold, you can go further. The XP over here, you get 1 XP a round, and the cost of leveling will go up further. And you can also purchase 5 XP for 5 gold. And gold is essential for XP, rolling for different units, so you can get more 2 stars and 3 stars, or get better alliance, and or you can use the gold to actually, to go further with your income by using the unspent gold. What we're going to do is, we're going to start the first round. I'll show you guys the fight. We can fast forward on this one. So here we're facing an enemy with 3 different units, and we only have 1 down. Obviously we're going to lose, and we're going to lose pretty easily. So each time you lose to an enemy, depending on the tier of the unit and number of stars, you lose HP. Here it shows we lost 3 HP, because all of those units are tier 1 with 1 star, and if those units were 2 star, I'll lose 2 HP. I can't pause here, right? I can pause? No, I can't pause. So let's go to the items quickly before I talk about HP. Here you face with items. You can reroll those items once, you're looking at tier 1, and again tier 1 items. There is a timer which goes down. The timer basically reduces the time you have to choose, but you can reroll items. So the items, if you reroll them, you won't get the 3 you already see here, you get a next set of different items. So this is good if you don't have any items you want, but if there's something you want, you might want to pick it now, because if you reroll, you won't get the items. You'll be getting items after the 1st round, 4th round, and 8th round. So basically every 4 round, you get an item. Item goes from tier 1 to tier 5, and they have different strength. They can buff your units, give you different combinations of alliance, give you different stats, and even summon a unit. So those are very interesting, definitely try it out. Units can have at most of 1 item each, and when you have it down here, you can see the item on the unit, on the portrait here, and also on top of the unit. Items effect only comes into play when the fight starts, and sometimes there's even units that steals items. We'll get to that very soon. So notice here, we see a highlight, and we have 2 of the same kind. If we purchase this, we have 3 of the same kind, and this takes us to 2 star. This is perfect. And a 2 star unit will actually have better skills, better cooldown sometimes, better damage, and more HP. Her damage and HP is usually doubled, and the skills gets upgraded. Now, a 2 star unit, if an enemy happens to lose to us with a 2 star unit, they will lose 2 HP if she is a tier 1 and tier 2. They will lose more HP if she is a tier 3 or tier 4, and this goes further. So the more valuable and the more rare units are, the more HP enemy loses. Which gets a little advanced, but right now you just want to win if you can. I did lose the 1st round, and because I lost the 1st round, you can see I'm on 0 and 1 here, and also I have a free roll. Basically with free rolls, if you click this button or if you press R, you get a new set of units which helps you have better chance of finding your pairs into a 2 star. Let's try it. So we found another Crystal Maiden, so now I have 4 of her. In order to make her into a 3 star, we need 9 of her, so each 3 of her makes a 2 star, and 9 of her will be the maximum. And this gets a little harder to find at the start, and I don't recommend spending your money here. If I press again, you will spend the 2 remaining gold I have here, and this will actually go into my piggy bank for 30 gold. So I can show you guys by pressing here. I get a new set of units. Now I don't have money to buy them. One of the biggest mistakes I used to make as a beginner is I tend to click the reroll, and without enough gold to purchase the units I find. That's really awkward. And if that happens, you can still lock for this, so the units don't change for the next round, but you're losing some value. You're losing a free roll of value. Next round, you don't get a new set of units. So it's the best to have some reserve gold before you roll and before you look for new units. Now we spoke a bit of the basics. I think there's a few other things which I do want to touch upon, and with the fights, interactions, up onto round 10, you get to pick out of the Underlords. Each of the Underlords have different effects. There's 4 of them, and there's 2 variations of each. One is usually offensive, one is supportive. You only get to pick one of the different ones to give more variation to the game. And each of those Underlords, which will touch a different guide, will give you special effects. Some give you a summon of the demon, some gives you buffs to attack speed, other ones rings fire down to the enemy. Majority of the time with this game, what you want to do is, you want to look onto your units. Each of those units have different alliance or synergies. This one's a Heartless, this one's a Vigilant, also a Hunter. what you want to do is, you can see there's number of units you can put down. By spending gold to level up here, after round 3, you can even go further. I'll start the fight first. I'll leave those down. So, notice I have incomplete alliance. In order to win the game, you want to get as many alliances as you can to balance the offensive alliance, like maybe hunters, with the supportive alliance with heartless that reduce enemy armor, so you do more damage to enemy, and maybe sometimes mage classes that increase magical damage. Notice we lost the game here. So, we're gonna get a free roll. We're gonna continue the losing streak, we'll also lose some health. The biggest factor here is, don't worry if you lose at the start. The game doesn't really get into the death range until it's around 15 and plus. Even if you lose at the start, it may be beneficial. You can be collecting more units, you can be earning more gold, and before enemy knows it, you can be stronger in the mid game. If you see any of our replays, you can see that I tend to lose on purpose to get more income. And you can see I didn't press pause here because in a normal game you cannot pause. And I think this should touch upon most of the basics. And lastly, I want to show you guys is after the 3 losing streak, I will ideally to get extra gold. We'll try to pause for that. So get a lose here. We'll touch on more mini guides today, and this way we'll have a series of mini guides. Actually, I'll make it to 10 gold. I'll show you guys the income as well. So, notice here I have a losing streak +1. This is because I lost 3 times consecutively, and because of that, the game actually offered me a losing streak additional gold to help me come back to myself. I also have 12 gold here. So I'm going to purposely make myself weaker, and I'm going to start the fight. So once I start the fight, it's going to lose again, and we're going to make extra gold from losing for 1 extra gold. We're also going to make extra gold from the interest. We will make the victory gold because we can't win, and we should be on the lookout to spend the free rolls, because this free roll will expire if you don't spend it. It doesn't stack up, and it's like 2 gold if you don't use it. Lots of 2 gold. So I'm going to purposely lose here. I'll use the free roll. Sometimes you find a bunch of pairs. Notice that at the start of the round, if I purchase now, it doesn't affect anything because the round has already started. If the round hasn't started, if you purchase, you go under 10 or 20 gold, you won't get additional interest. So I want to show you guys the currency here. Round's gonna finish. Oh, I'll just pick anything. So you see interest, losing streak, free roll. Interest is from having over 10 gold. Losing streak is because we lost more than 3 times. If you win more than 3 times, you also get that. Notice here. And lastly, the interest came from here. Maximum 3 interest and maximum 2 losing streak. 2 losing streak gold. So after losing 6 times in a row. Winning streak, well, you finish win streak off at 8 wins, and the gold is essential because now I can spend gold to level up. Notice I'm on level 3. If I press the level up button, it shows me my rates of units if I level up. Sometimes you might not want to level up because you have a bunch of low tier pairs, and if I have all my 1 cost pairs here, or 1 tier pairs, I actually lose 10% of finding 1 tier units if I leveled up. But other times it's better to find, better rarity, maybe the blue ones, maybe the purple ones, or even ace units, or the the tier 5 legendaries. You only unlock the legendaries at level 8. Keep that in mind. Leveling up also gives you 1 more spot to put on the field. So if we're going to press this, notice I can put 4. I can put 4 down here. And this is it, guys. This is the beginner's guide for the economy, for the basic mechanics for Underlord. The game just came out from season 1, and we're going to make more guides, more tips, and more gameplays for it as we go. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you like my videos, please subscribe onto YouTube and also follow on Twitch to support me. If you also have your Twitch Primes, that help me massively on Twitch as well. Thank you so much for watching. Leave a like if you like it, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everyone.